While the world kept waiting for Elon Musk to deliver on his robot promises, a different team quietly walked onto the stage and changed the entire game. At a closed-door investor briefing in Seoul, Hyundai executives let one number slip that sent a chill through every robotics lab in Silicon Valley. The new Atlas is not entering production next year. It is entering production with every unit for the next 36 months already spoken for. Think about that for a second. A robot nobody can buy is somehow beating a robot nobody can build. But why is Tesla actually worried? What does the new Atlas do that Optimus cannot? Who is writing checks for a machine that costs 15 times more than its competitor? And how did a company that spent 3 decades burning cash suddenly become the one everyone is trying to copy? The answers are stranger than the headlines suggest. And they start with a problem Elon Musk did not see coming. The quiet shift nobody covered. Let us set the scene first. For the last 3 years, every humanoid robot headline has belonged to Tesla. Musk on a stage, a robot walking awkwardly across it, a crowd cheering, a stock price climbing. Figure AI drops a beautifully edited clip of a robot folding a shirt. Unitree posts a video of a bipedal machine doing a cartwheel for $20,000. The internet erupts, the coverage is massive, and Boston Dynamics says almost nothing. Then, without the flash, without the keynote, without the confetti cannons, the company posts a short video of the new all-electric Atlas standing up from the floor in a way no human spine would ever allow. No fanfare, no ticker bump, just a machine doing something that quietly rewrites what a humanoid can be. Within a week, engineers at competing firms were dissecting that clip frame by frame. Because what looked like a cool trick was actually a message. The hydraulic era was over. The commercial era had begun, and Tesla, for the first time, was no longer setting the pace. Why Optimus was supposed to win? On paper, Tesla had every possible advantage heading into this race. They had a gigafactory, global supply chains, a billionaire CEO with a built-in megaphone, and a software stack from their cars that could theoretically translate to robotics. Musk stated publicly that Optimus would cost around $20,000 and become Tesla's most valuable product line, eventually eclipsing vehicles. He promised 1 million units a year. He promised they would do household chores, babysit pets, and handle factory tasks. He even projected Tesla's market cap would hit $25 trillion on the back of humanoid robots alone. And for a while, investors believed him. Optimus walked on stage. Optimus poured a drink. Optimus folded laundry. Except, as multiple leaked reports later confirmed, many of those demos were teleoperated by humans in the next room. The robot was not deciding anything. A person wearing motion capture gloves was doing the thinking for it. When that detail hit the press, the narrative cracked. Tesla still had the branding, still had the spectacle, but the gap between the promise and the product had suddenly become visible to everyone paying attention. The hydraulic ghost Atlas had to kill. Now here is where the story gets uncomfortable for Boston Dynamics fans. For years, the old hydraulic Atlas was the internet's favorite robot. The backflips, the parkour runs through warehouses, the dancing to pop songs with a choreography team of humanoids, tens of millions of views, cultural moments. And also, commercially, a complete dead end. Each hydraulic Atlas cost somewhere between $1 and $2 million to build. It leaked fluid. Hoses ripped during falls. It needed a babysitter team of engineers following it around like roadies on a tour bus. You cannot hand a $2 million leaking robot to a factory floor manager and expect a return on investment. Everyone inside the company knew this. Robert Plater, the CEO, knew it better than anyone. So in April of 2024, they did something that most legacy robotics companies never have the guts to do. They killed their own icon. They retired Hydraulic Atlas with a farewell video that felt more like a Viking funeral than a product refresh. And then they introduced its replacement, a completely rebuilt all-electric machine that looked less like a human and more like something a human would hire. The body that broke the human template. So what actually changed? Let us talk about the hardware. Because this is where the worry starts for Musk's engineers. The new Atlas stands roughly 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighs around 198 pounds, and can extend its arms to a reach of about 7.5 feet. Boring specs, right? Here is where it gets strange. Boston Dynamics did not copy the human body. They improved on it. The robot has 56 degrees of freedom, and many of its joints can rotate a full 360 degrees, meaning the torso can spin in place. The wrists can keep turning forever without needing to reset. The head can face backward while the legs keep walking forward. Watch a clip of it standing up, and you will notice it does not push off the ground like a person would. It just rotates its legs up and over, stands up backward, and walks away. It is deeply unsettling the first time you see it, and completely efficient once you think about what a factory actually needs. Add sealed IP67 protection, a peak lifting capacity of around 110 pounds, tactile sensors in the fingertips, and cameras embedded inside the palms, and what you have is not a humanoid. It is a worker-shaped machine that happens to resemble us. The secret weapon called Hyundai Mobis. Here is the part of the story that almost nobody covers. And it is the single reason Tesla's engineers are quietly losing sleep. The most expensive component in a humanoid robot is not the AI, the cameras, or the battery. It is the actuators, the electric joints that actually move the limbs. Industry estimates place actuators at anywhere from 30 to 50% of total build cost. They determine whether a robot can pick up a coffee cup without crushing it, whether it can catch itself mid-fall, whether it can work an 8-hour shift without burning out. Every humanoid company on Earth is struggling with this exact bottleneck. Figure is struggling. Unitree is struggling. Tesla is struggling. And then there is Hyundai Mobis, the automotive parts division that Boston Dynamics now sits inside. Mobis has been manufacturing electric power steering units at massive scale for over a decade. The architecture of a power steering system and the architecture of a robot joint actuator overlap by an estimated 60%. Same motor logic, same gearbox principles, same sensor feedback, same controller philosophy. Hyundai did not invent a new actuator for Atlas. They walked into a warehouse that already held millions of them and adapted what was already there. Tesla has to build this from scratch. Boston Dynamics just opened a door. Brains borrowed from the best. Hardware without software is just a very expensive mannequin. So how is Atlas doing on the thinking side? Instead of trying to build everything in-house like Tesla does, Boston Dynamics made a smart call. They partnered. Google DeepMind's Gemini Robotics handles natural language understanding. You tell the robot to clear off the table and put everything in the cabinet, and it figures out what clear means, which cabinet, and how to do it without bumping into anything. This used to be the hardest problem in robotics. It is becoming routine. Meanwhile, the Toyota Research Institute is building a teaching system that feels pulled from science fiction. An engineer straps on a VR headset, performs a task once, and the neural network extracts the underlying principle, not just the motion. It then transfers that skill to every other Atlas on Earth. One robot learns to sort boxes by weight, and within 24 hours, the entire fleet knows how. All of this runs on a platform called Orbit, originally built for the Spot quadruped and now ported to Atlas. Orbit manages the fleet, tracks performance, connects the robots to factory systems, and can even flag safety issues like spills or debris. What Tesla is trying to build from scratch with XAI, Boston Dynamics has assembled from 3 of the most capable research teams on the planet. That is not a small thing. That is a structural lead, the math that changes everything. Now let us get to the number that actually matters, because this is where most people get the story wrong. Yes, Atlas is expensive. Analyst estimates peg it somewhere between $130,000 and $320,000 per unit. Tesla's Optimus is aiming for $20,000. On the surface, Atlas looks like a luxury car competing against a compact sedan. But businesses do not buy robots based on sticker price. They buy them based on cost of ownership, and that is where the whole equation flips. A factory worker in the United States costs roughly $50,000 a year once you include benefits, taxes, and insurance. Atlas works 3 shifts. It does not take breaks, vacations, or sick days. It does not slow down at the end of a 12-hour shift. It does not quit when a better offer comes along. Built on automotive-grade Mobis components, it has an expected lifespan of at least 10 years with routine maintenance. Even at the highest price estimate, that works out to less than $90 a day of amortized cost. Try hiring a reliable human being for $90 a day, all in, all hours, all tasks. You cannot. This is why every 2026 production unit is already sold. The math is not close. Who actually bought the robots? So who exactly is writing these checks? The entire 2026 production allocation is split between two buyers, and both choices tell you something different. The first is Hyundai itself, which will deploy the robots at its Robotics and Mobility Application Center in Georgia, using them to validate assembly line tasks before rolling them onto production floors by 2028. The second is Google DeepMind, which reportedly plans to purchase somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 units purely for research, feeding real-world operational data back into Gemini Robotics. You see what is happening here? The robot maker, the parent automaker, and the AI provider are all using each other's hardware to sharpen each other's software. It is a closed loop designed to accelerate, and Hyundai is not stopping there. The company has committed $26 billion to United States manufacturing investment, with a significant chunk earmarked for a humanoid robot factory capable of producing up to 30,000 units a year. Let that number sit for a moment. 30,000 robots annually, built by a car company to work in car company factories, trained by an AI trained on data from car company robots. Tesla tried to build a vertically integrated robot pipeline alone. Hyundai just built an ecosystem where Tesla actually stands. Let us be fair to Tesla for a minute, because writing them off is a mistake. They still have real advantages. Vertical manufacturing experience, a consumer brand that moves markets, software infrastructure built on years of autonomous vehicle data, and a CEO who, whatever you think of him, knows how to mobilize capital. But the pressure right now is intense, and the signs are not good. Optimus timelines have slipped repeatedly. Engineers familiar with the program have described the hand design as particularly troubled, with the tactile dexterity lagging behind internal targets. Production goals have been quietly revised downward. The promised $20,000 price point still assumes scale that the company has not demonstrated yet for this product category. Meanwhile, the competition is not just Boston Dynamics. Figure is deploying robots with BMW. Agility Robotics is on Toyota and Amazon floors. Apptronik is inside Mercedes factories. The race is not between Musk and Plater. The race is between Tesla and an entire formation of rivals, each of whom has a head start in at least one critical area. Optimus can still win. Tesla has the resources to brute force a comeback. But for the first time in the humanoid race, they are not the ones the industry watches. They are the ones trying to catch up. What this means for the next 10 years. Now let us pull back and look at what this actually means for the world outside of two tech companies trading blows. Morgan Stanley projects the global humanoid robot market will reach $5 trillion by 2050, with more than 1 billion androids deployed across manufacturing, logistics, healthcare, and eventually consumer applications. That sounds absurd until you remember that a similar projection about smartphones in 2005 would have sounded absurd too. Three forces are colliding right now: an aging global workforce with shrinking birth rates in every major economy, a labor cost curve that makes robots economically attractive for the first time, and a technology stack 30 years of research that has finally matured into a deployable product. The first wave lands exactly where you would expect: heavy lifting, repetitive assembly, warehouse logistics, hazardous environments. Your local grocery store is safe for a while. A Hyundai assembly line in 2028 is not. And the skeptics do have a point worth taking seriously. Factory environments are controlled. Homes are chaotic. A robot that can torque a bolt perfectly for 10 hours is not the same robot that can reliably fold a fitted sheet. Price points in the hundreds of thousands make Atlas a tool for corporations, not consumers. And competitors still have time to close the gap. But the direction of travel is locked in. The robots are coming. Tesla has the marketing. Boston Dynamics has the machines. And right now, the machines are winning. So here we are watching a decades-long chess match finally come to its decisive moves. Boston Dynamics spent 30 years building the best body in robotics. Tesla spent 3 years building the loudest story. And the next 3 years will decide which one actually matters. If you want more breakdowns like this one, you know what to do. And here is the question I want to hear your take on down in the comments. If you ran a factory with 1,000 open positions tomorrow, would you write the check for 1 Atlas or 15 Optimus units? The math is not obvious, and the answer tells us more about the future than any keynote ever will.